Question number first. A survey was made to find the type of music that a certain group of young people liked in a city. Adjoining pie chart shows the findings of this survey. So here we are on chapter name data handling, and we are solving exercise 5.2 of chapter 5th mathematics class 8th. So we have a pie chart representation about a survey that was conducted for the young people only who have different types of tastes in music, namely semi-classical, classical, folk, and light one, and their percentage of liking different tastes of music has been depicted on this pie chart. Remember, these are sectors of this pie chart that we just learned in the introduction part of pie charts. Based upon the knowledge that we acquired from introduction part, we shall try to answer these three parts. So the first one says, if 20 people liked classical music, so it is a linear equation over here. That is, 20 people like classical music. That means the value of this classical music, that is 10%, is equal to 20 people. So how many young people were surveyed? Using this information in the question, we need to find the total number of young people surveyed. We just understood this type of question in introduction part of pie charts. So the solution goes like this. 20 people means 10%. Classical is just a noise in the question. It could be anything, but for our reference, it is classical over here. So 20 equates to 10%. That is, the number of young people are 20 who like classical music, and their percentage is provided to us as 10%. So if you put a beam balance, both these left hand side equates to right hand side. That's why we are using linear equation. So now we shall perform unitary method in order to find 100% of the people. For that, we need to find number of people that comprises 1%. Therefore, this equation can be written in elaborated form like this. 20 as it is equal as it is. 10% means 10 is getting multiplied with percent. We told you if we are using signs and constants, it simply means they are getting multiplied up, and percentage really means 1 over 100. So 10 is getting multiplied with 1 over 100. In order to get rid of this 10 on right hand side, then only it will be left as 1%. We shall divide the whole equation on both sides with 10. That is what you have learned in simple equations chapter. We are doing nothing fancy over here, just the repetition of previous concepts. So 20, we are dividing it with 10, as well as in order to balance this complete equation, we must also divide on right hand side. So the same has been done over here. That is dividing right hand side with 10 as well. So this 10 gets cancelled out, and this 0 gets cancelled out. So what are we left over here? 2 on left hand side, that equates to 1%. Nothing written over here, it simply means we have 1 over here. So the value of 1% is 2. Now the question was asking how many young people were surveyed. So it means how many total number of young people were there. Total represent 100%, because if we will add all these percentages, although you need not to add them, because complete always means a whole thing, a whole chart, or 100%. In terms of angles, it would mean 360 degrees. But here we are not dealing with angles. We are only dealing with simple percentage, therefore 100%. So if the value of 1% is equal to 2, then if we will multiply it on both sides with 100, then we shall get the value of 100% of the people in terms of numbers. So the same has been done in this equation. Multiplying both sides with 100, so left hand side is multiplied with 100, it becomes 2 into 100 equals to, again, nothing fancy here, we just introduced multiplication of 100, rest as it is. You can avoid this multiplication, it simply means 1% is getting multiplied with 100, therefore it becomes 100% whose value is 200. Therefore, total young people that were surveyed were 200. It is very simple, we just elaborated in depth to make you understand better. With this, our first part has been solved. Second part, which type of music is liked by maximum number of people? This means we need to find visually the sector which appears the biggest most in this pie chart is the answer for maximum number of people, and that subject is obviously light music, which is liked by 40%, which is the greatest sector amongst rest of the three sectors. Therefore, we can surely say biggest sector or biggest pie. These are pies. Sectors are also called as pies. The similar pies you have in a cake. You can understand from that concept we just told you in introduction part of the pie charts. That equates to light music. Well, that solves our second question. Number third, if a cassette company were to make 1000 CDs, how many of each type would they make? So one thing to note in such type of questions is that you cannot use the previous values that is provided to you in previous parts, because now the condition is different. It is not dependent on first condition. Although in first part we know that there were total 200 people surveyed, but this information is not related on third part. Here the conditions are changed. So never assume the things by your own. It simply says that cassette company decided to produce 1000 CDs. Now we need to find how many CDs should that company produce based upon different tastes of the people. So the question simply requires us to find fractions of the CDs out of 1000 based upon these percentages. So this question has nothing to do with first part. It is an independent information in its own. We are telling you this because you might get confused that there are total 200 people, then why would a cassette company produce 1000 CDs? That is 800 will not be sold. That's why we are telling you that first part has nothing to do with third part. It is an independent information in its own. Based upon that, we shall try to answer third part. So third part can be written as total CDs equals to whole circle value, because 1000 CDs will be sold to these four types of music tastes that people have. Since we are provided the sector information in terms of percentages, so we should equate this 1000 to 100%. But for your information, we can write it as total CDs equal to whole circle value, which is equal to 1000. That is provided to us. That is new information in this case. That also means that is equal to 360 degrees value of this central angle. But since we are not considering angles this time, we shall avoid it. This is just for your understanding. In solving this question, our attention should be only on this equated values. That is, whole circle value is equal to 1000. And whole circle value is equal to how much? 100%. So 100% equals 1000. So that simply means 1% would be 1000 divided with 100. Simply cross multiply it or divide on both sides with 100. That is the same thing that we already know better from our previous concepts of equations. Now when we cancel it, two zeros get cancelled out, it becomes 10. So the value of 1% is 10 only when we are provided that total CDs were 1000. If this value changes, then obviously the value of 1% will change as it changed over here. After knowing 1%, we can easily find the different values of different percentages given in terms of sectors. So let's go with classical, that was 10%. Simply multiplied 1% with 10, that will give you 10 into 10 equals to 100 CDs for classical. Again, folk, that is 30% people like folk, therefore 10 into 30. We are simply multiplying value of 1% with the percentage value we are provided. So it is 300 for folk music. Similarly, for the light we have 40% of the people. So value of 1%, 10 will be getting multiplied with 40, which will give us 400 people. That was for light music. Similarly, for semi-classical, we have 20%, so 10 gets multiplied with 20. That gives you 200. So it was very simple, just remember the flow. Certain times we need to equate the value with percentages, certain times we need to equate with the central angle that shall come in next subsequent questions. With this, a third part is also solved. Also, if you will add all these four values, because we are only having four categories of music, then this value should equate to 1000. That will be checking of your answer. So if we add it, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 2 is again 10. And fixing two zeros, it again gives you total 1000 CDs. So the company will produce CDs in these different categories. With this, our first question has been solved.